Good morning, guys. I hope you're having a great Friday morning or Friday afternoon, depending on when you're watching this. I'm sorry I couldn't be with you today, and I hope we can get through this lesson here in my home. So, let's get started. Today, we are going to take a look at a new passage called The Marvels of the Modern World. Now, you all should have this packet. The sub should have passed it out to you. And this is what we are going to use for the lesson. Now, the first thing I want for you guys to do is to look through this passage. Okay? Look at the different things that you see on it. Don't read it yet. Just look at it. And I want you to make some predictions on what you see in this packet. So let's take a few minutes and someone can set the timer to 2 minutes on the Promethean. And I want you to look through it again and make predictions about what you think you're going to read about in this passage. Let's take a quick break and we'll come right back. Okay, now after that quick break, I'm going to read to you this passage. Follow along in your packet. Marvels of the Modern World. Going up. From the great pyramids of Egypt to the cathedrals of Europe, people have tried to touch the sky with tall buildings. At one time, structures only a few dozen feet tall seemed remarkable. In the 1920s, buildings that were 500 feet tall were considered amazing. Today's skyscrapers can be 3 times that height and more. Before the late 1800s, the construction of tall buildings wasn't very practical. Early building materials such as clay and stone were heavy. To support the weight of high walls, the base of the building had to be thick and wide, restricting usable space in the lower part of the structure. Too many windows made the walls weak, so tall buildings were often dark inside. With stairs providing the only way up, reaching the top of a tall structure meant climbing a seemingly endless flight of steps. It wasn't until the late 1800s that towering buildings became possible. The mass production of steel, a material that could support the weight of a building's walls, was a crucial breakthrough. Another came with the development of new construction designs that allowed buildings to safely withstand high winds. Moreover, the invention of the elevator made it possible to move up and down a tall building quickly. With these elements in place, the era of the skyscraper began. There's no standard definition of what makes a tall building a skyscraper. A building that looms above one city might be dwarfed by the buildings in another. Experts have also created different categories for tall buildings. In some cases, only the occupied floors of a building are measured, while in other cases, an antenna or tower that stands at the top of a building is counted toward a building's height. Still, people seem to know a skyscraper when they see one. William LeBron Jenney designed what many historians regard as the first skyscraper. His home insurance building, completed in 1885 in Chicago, was the first building to have a steel skeleton inside its walls. This building was 10 stories tall, an impressive height for its time. Other historians considered the Woolworth Building to be the first true skyscraper. But in New York City in 1913, this building is close to 800 feet tall and has 57 floors above ground. It was the first very tall building to overcome the major problems of high-rise construction. The Woolworth Building was a steel skeleton, an elevator, and a design that braces it against strong winds. In the 19th century, many people moved to cities looking for jobs. As a result, many urban areas became crowded. Since most cities had limited amounts of land, sites for new houses and offices were scarce and expensive. Architects and engineers thought of a solution. Build up, not out. Building up seemed like an ideal way to solve some problems in growing cities. Builders soon found, however, that skyscrapers posed challenges. The need for special equipment and designs meant that building up was costly. Since tall structures could block sunlight and air from reaching a street, new laws were needed to control how and where they could be built. Nonetheless, skyscrapers went up and up and up. These exciting new buildings gave architects and engineers a chance to demonstrate their skills. Many cities became a showcase for modern building techniques and distinctive skylines. Some skyscrapers echoed art trends of the past, linking cities in their history. Others brought cities into the future with ultra-modern towers of glass and steel. Completed in 1931, the Empire State Building in New York City, standing 102 stories, 1,250 feet high, was the tallest building in the world for about 40 years until the completion of the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in 1970, followed by the Sears Tower in Chicago in 1973. Recently, however, with the availability of more advanced technologies and building materials, skyscrapers are testing new limits. In 1998, the Petronas Towers in Malaysia, both standing 1,483 feet tall, became the world's tallest buildings. Then came Taipei 101 in Taiwan, rising over 1,650 feet. Today, the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, at 2,717 feet, is the world's tallest building. If our wish is to someday live with our heads in the clouds, each new skyscraper takes us a little closer to that goal. All right, we just finished our passage, and I thought we found out some pretty cool things. Now, what I want you to do is to open up your packet and go to this page. It says just the facts. Now in here you will see several different boxes. I want you to go through and find something in the passage to fill in for each of these blocks. This first block says a cool fact. So take just a second, go back through that passage and find a cool fact. So my cool fact, as you can see, I am writing about the Woolworth building. I found this to be particularly interesting because it was considered to be the first skyscraper. Now that I have done my first cool fact, I would like for you guys to go through the rest of these boxes and fill each of these out as you see fit from what you've read. Once you have finished those boxes, I would like you to fill in your inferencing box here at the bottom. Here is mine. I wrote that from the cool fact above, I can infer that the Woolworth building led to other skyscrapers because it helped shape the construction of future skyscrapers such as the Twin Towers. After you finish your Just the Facts page, you are then going to go to the last page in your packet that says Tabletop Tweets, and you will work through each of these 4 squares. This first square with the Twitter symbol is where you are going to use approximately 140 characters to describe what you just read, or heard me read rather. In this second box, I am no artist, guys, so I didn't draw, but I would like for you to draw or sketch a picture or a diagram that captures the big idea of what you read. Then, down here in the hashtag tweet, I want you to write a hashtag. And then in this box here, I want you to share with a friend and let them tweet back about another idea. In just a moment, I will show you each of my 3 blocks that I completed here at home. I do not have my 4th done as I don't have anyone to exchange my paper with. So let's take a look. Here I am writing my tweet, and it says, after reading about the becoming of skyscrapers, I learned that in some places or cities, it's better to build up versus build out. Okay, guys, like I mentioned before, I'm not the drawer or the artist, so I chose to write that the graphic of the Woolworth building captures this big idea. I would like for you guys to draw, though, a picture. Here in this box is our hashtag, and I chose to write my hashtag as larger than life, since all of our skyscrapers are larger than life. Now don't forget, this last box you need to do on your own with a friend. Okay, guys, that's it. Now, for the rest of class, I would like for you to finish both of these papers. They shouldn't take very long. As you finish, please make sure that your name is on the front page of your passage in the top right-hand corner. Also, make sure that your name is on your tabletop tweets and on your Just the Facts. After you have finished everything, I would like for you guys to turn it into the turn-in box up on the front table, and I have left further instructions with the sub. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and I hope to come back Monday with some good news in regards to my tests. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.